Estamos en la conferencia de prensa de la gente de la televisión, quienes corren a cargo de la transmisión es NBC en Estados Unidos. Ya vimos a Mike Tirico, Cris Collinsworth, todos ellos. A ver si ahorita platicamos con ellos. Vamos a platicar con el director de televisión porque creo que nos puede dar una perspectiva muy interesante de lo que es preparar el partido más importante del mundo, el Super Bowl. Pequeña acotación que grabo después. El director de una transmisión de televisión es como el director de una orquesta. Él es el que va viendo absolutamente y tomando todas las decisiones, sobre todo referentes a las cámaras, que va llevando pues justamente el flujo de lo que el televidente está viendo. Y el productor y productor ejecutivo son como los coordinadores, son absolutamente estar pendiente de todo lo que pasa desde antes, el día del juego, el día de montar, el día de ejecutar. Y, o sea, toda esa planeación es también a cargo del productor. Entonces tuvimos la oportunidad de platicar tanto con el director como con el productor de NBC que llevan el Super Bowl. Y pues bueno, además con los comentaristas Mike Tirico y el analista Cris Collinsworth. La verdad está fenomenal. Mr. Drew, I wanted to ask you, just like in a numbers perspective, how many people is involved on... I mean, I know Super Bowl is the biggest TV production probably annually, but just game day, how many people are involved?
Well, I can put it to you in perspective this way. On an average Sunday night game, at around kickoff time, there's about 175. Now, it's going to be at least double, maybe close to triple that, because you have the entire pregame show on site, you have additional vendors, there's additional security, everything's just blown up a little bit more. So I'm going to guess several hundred.
I'm very interested in the number. You just put that in perspective relative to a normal NFL game. How many cameramen do you have in a normal game compared to the Super Bowl?
Okay, in a normal Sunday night game, we have probably 22 or 3 camera operators. That'll be, and this is just for the game, not for the pregame, probably 35 or 40 for the game. Some of them are there for the specific reason to set up specialty cameras that may or may not even ever get on the air. You know, we have people setting up cameras along the back of the end line. Does that ever get on the air? Who knows? Pylon cameras, line to gain point of view cameras. All that stuff is set up with operators ready to go, but are generally not part of the live cut of the show. What we try to do is add stuff that will give a better or defining look to critical plays. The example I'll give you is on a regular NFL game, we basically have 3 play-by-play cameras. You divide the field in thirds. Super Bowl, if the real estate permits, we add 2 at the goal line, so now you have 5. Is it going to make a huge difference? It may or may not, but it did on the Malcolm Butler interception, where the play happened right in front of you, as opposed to angled off a little bit.
Drew, to wrap this up, what would you say is the foundation of a good television broadcast of American football?
I think the foundation of a good broadcast is to, at least in the production area, is to do the best job you can as making sure the video you see matches the audio you hear. And that, I think, puts everything, everybody in the same pot and keeps everybody on the same page.
Mr. Drew, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. My name is Alberto.
Hey, Alberto. Nice to meet you.
I wanted to talk to you about, you were just talking about that recently. The NFL as a TV product in this age of social media. How does the NFL keep its status so at the top of the television and cultural lifestyle in America in a day and age where you can just scroll and scroll and scroll, and that's how young people are developing their entertainment consumption, scroll and scroll and scroll and go ahead. The NFL is a 3-hour broadcast. How are you guys doing that?
Well, I think, there's no one simple answer to that question. Obviously, there's nothing more popular in America than the NFL. And the NFL works really hard at making sure that stays the case. I know, I worked for a long time with Al Michaels, maybe the greatest broadcaster who's ever done it. And he would always say the NFL is the greatest reality show on television because the dramatic swings from week to week to week, game to game, play to play, there's no other entertainment entity that rivals that. So, the people that do NFL football, whether it be NBC or CBS, Fox, ABC, they're the best people at those networks. They're the most creative. They're the most experienced. So the NFL has the best television people in our country working on their product. And then, obviously they've expanded internationally. They are very, very keen and very, very intentional about keeping themselves in the news 365 days a year. So I think all those things combined are a large reason why the NFL is on top of the world.
The NFL has already entered the streaming media, Amazon Prime, Netflix around the world. Is this the path to follow for the league and for sports in general?
Well, look, I think, as especially younger people cut the cord or don't even plug in the cord, right? They don't even go to cable anymore. They just want to stream their favorite shows. If you want to be relevant with young people who will someday be old people, who will have their own habits, their own viewing habits, you have to have a streaming product. So I think every league at some point is going to have, and they will, a streaming product, or they will be left behind because, young people, like I said, young people become old people, and their habits don't change a whole lot from young to old. So you have to be where the people are.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Fred.
My pleasure. Good
Thank
luck
you.
to
How do you balance in the Super Bowl? It's such a big audience. You just said that you're terrified of other media members calling you out on something that you missed. But also the Super Bowl has a lot of casual fans. How do you balance teaching those casual fans about the game of football at the same time talking to those football nerds that are watching every single week?
It's hard. I mean, you don't want anybody to feel left off, right? If grandma has not watched a football game all year, my wife always says, tell me a reason why I care. Why should I care about this game? So my job to some extent is to take the helmet off these guys, tell you about them as people, create a little passion for what they do, but at the same time realizing there are a lot of people out there that want to know the details of the X's and O's of why this team is winning and why that team is losing. And you have to be a little fearless with those comments. You have to be willing to ruffle some feathers sometimes. But that's the balance. It's hard. This game, you do games the same way all year, and then you get to this Super Bowl audience, and you have to do it a little bit differently.
What are you telling your wife? Why should she care this week?
Oh, there's a lot of reasons to care. I think the two young quarterbacks are the most interesting. I really do. That typically we all know everything about the quarterbacks who play in the Super Bowl. I'm not really sure that's the case with this one this season.
Thank you. What would you say you continue to keep doing today, preparing Super Bowl 60, as you did when you first started your career in sports?
I think the nuts and bolts are still there. You have to make sure that you've got all the names and numbers right, and you know how to say all the names. Very often, players will change the pronunciation of their names, right? Their mom wants it one way, and it's been passed along in a different way throughout their college career. So I think the nuts and bolts are where you have to start as foundational for this, and then grow and go from there, and still try to do that even with a game like this.
What's one moment in your career that really stood out with you, that taught you something so significant that you remember to this day as a broadcaster?
Boy, there have been so many. I think anytime you're on a big event, you go through experiences that remind you of why your job's important. And I think of the third Monday Night Football game I did back in 2006. New Orleans was playing Atlanta, and that was 56 weeks after Hurricane Katrina. And it was important and informative for me in my career because I realized that day that sports means more than just the final score on the board. That was New Orleans' symbol and signal to the world that they were open for business after the hurricane. And I don't think anything brings societies, cities together like sports does. So for me, that was a lesson of, yeah, the game's important, but really what it means to the people who are here supporting it and watching it, that's really important as well.
Wow, esa, pues creo que es más para mí y para todos los cronistas, aspirantes a cronistas que vean Receptor Live. Qué buena experiencia. Mike Tirico, Cris Collinsworth y todo el equipo de NBC que llevan el Super Bowl 60. Hoy venimos a ver a los Warriors. Steph Curry está lesionado de los Warriors. Joel Embiid de los Sixers no va a jugar. Pero nunca he visto un partido de básquetbol de la NBA. Vimos Women's College Basketball mujeres hace 2 días, así que let's go. Se supone que esta ya es la arena de los Warriors y parece un mall. Seguramente es un mall y la arena está adentro de alguna manera. Ahora sí ya parece una arena de básquetbol. Estaba muy escondida detrás de esos edificios. Esto nos pasa por llegar tarde. La noche de ayer lunes hacía mucho frío, hoy está súper fresco, pero o sea, chill. Hasta podría no traer sudadera, pero bueno, sale a las 9 después del partido, entonces está todo dar. El clima me salió sobrando el de los Raiders. Nos dieron una gorrita porque hoy empieza, bueno, esta semana empieza el Black History Month, el mes de la historia negra aquí en Estados Unidos. No se ve, pero está bien grandota y por supuesto vamos hasta arriba porque eran los boletos más baratos. ¿Quieren ver los asientos? Los asientos que nos tocaron. Está gigante la arena, cabrón, está gigante. Siento que el video no le hace justicia a sobre todo lo empinada que está, porque está súper vertical. Es un estadio, güey. Eso sí, está como el Azteca y como el GNP después de su nueva remodelación, que no hay pasillo. No hay pasillo, o sea, está súper vertical y si alguien va a pasar, está súper angosto, te tienes que levantar y pasas todos apretado. Los Warriors jugaban en Oakland, como los Raiders, y se trajeron una nueva arena aquí a San Francisco y hubo muchas quejas. Antes era Oracle Arena, es donde fueron campeones. Y pues se quejaron, pero se lo trajeron para acá a San Francisco, que es más fresón el asunto. Y pues hicieron una arena gigantesca en un espacio así y se ve. Sí aguantan los highlights. Ahorita seguimos unas jugadas, ahorita no sé qué están presentando. Bad Bunny en la arena de los Warriors. Bad Bunny. La canción. Show de baile. Por cierto, tocó ya ir por comida, por el gorrito. En la NBA no tengo equipo, yo le voy a LeBron, pero también me tocó ver a los Warriors de Steph Curry en 2015, 2016, entonces, además no es de los colores de siempre, entonces disimula. Comida super fit. Jugada. Mi galleta fue lo más barato, creo que $7. Ni siquiera mi bebida me costó tan barato. Y es lo más rico. Está deliciosa esta galleta, está impresionante esta galleta. Si no lo miden, magnífica. Están perdiendo los Warriors por 9. Vamos a ver Stanford, pero bueno, el sábado la verdad no apoyaba yo a Stanford. Perdieron. Esperemos que no pierdan los Warriors aquí. Con lo grande que se ve que está esta arena. Martes está llena la sección de boletos baratos. Los carros están como al 60%. Bunny todo el día sonando en la arena. Es semana de Super Bowl. Bad Bunny va a estar en el halftime show. Como 3 canciones de Bad Bunny en la última hora. Show de los porristas. En la pantalla, con todas las estadísticas, se actualiza el momento. Yo no soy ni experto, no le voy a ni un equipo de la NBA. Ayudan bastante las stats. Y sé que pues eso pasa en todos los estadios, ¿verdad? Pero luego volteas a ver. Pues no sé si la cuestión soy yo, pero le metieron una madriza a los Warriors con 1.31 en el reloj, 113-91 en favor de los 76ers.